Hey, this is Ken coming to you from Paramount Record Shop in Watertown, Wisconsin. This is episode 3 of Vinyl Treasures. Today we're going to look at some jazz records and I'm going to talk about some stuff that I've recently picked up for my personal collection. So lately I've been picking up a lot of records from the CTI label, and I know a lot of jazz guys give the CTI label a bad rap because it does have a tendency to be kind of lighter jazz, but I wanted to make the point in this video and show you that there are some excellent releases on CTI. Records from the CTI label are all produced by Creed Taylor. And it's interesting because Creed Taylor actually worked for some other really reputable jazz labels before CTI, like Bethlehem, Impulse, and Verve. So some of these records are actually engineered by Rudy Van Gelder of Blue Note fame. And the first one I want to talk about here is by Milt Jackson. It's called Goodbye, and of course Milt Jackson was the vibist from the Modern Jazz Quartet. I think that the main thing I really like about the CTI label stuff, the good stuff, is the bands. And this one has a phenomenal band. So this one features Ron Carter on bass, Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, Hubert Laws on flute, Cedar Walton on piano, Herbie Hancock on piano, and two drummers, Steve Gadd and Billy Cowell. So with a band like that, how could it be bad? I mean, some of these CTI releases just have phenomenal bands, and this is one of the best that I can think of if you like vibes. So obviously, Milt Jackson is sort of the center point, but I gotta say, Herbie Hancock and Cedar Walton do some amazing piano work on here. So this was released in 1973, and this is some excellent melodic and superbly played jazz. So the next one I recently picked up in the wild is another CTI release by Paul Desmond called Skylark. I've been looking for this one for a long time. This one actually features the great Hungarian guitarist Gabor Szabo. Another superb band. The arrangements on this one were done by Don Sobeski, piano by Bob James, bass by Ron Carter, and drums by Jack DeJohnette. This one is also engineered by Rudy Van Gelder, and again, produced by Creed Taylor. The song I really love on this album is a Paul Desmond version of the great Take 5 by Dave Brubeck, which of course he played sax on. He was the saxophonist for the Dave Brubeck band. But on here he does his version called Take 10. So put out in 1973 on the CTI label, Paul Desmond Skylark. Another one recently added to my collection is yet another CTI release that I really enjoy. This is by Astrid Gilberto. It was put out in 1971. Astrid Gilberto, of course, was the great bossa nova and Latin vocalist. And on here, she's got an all-star band. Again, the band is what really attracted me to this. So Stanley Turrentine plays sax on this. The great Toots Thielman plays harmonica. Ron Carter on bass. Percussionist Airto is on this, and Hubert Laws. So great band. She's got this really warm vocal style that I think anybody would really enjoy. I'm generally not a huge fan of Latin flavored jazz, but this one is just a blast to listen to. So another one produced by Creed Taylor on the CTI label. So another one I recently picked up in the wild for $5, if you can believe that. Really nice copy of Chris Connor, self-titled, on Atlantic Records. This came out in 1956. She's got a great smoky jazz vocal style that I think anybody would enjoy. Just a great record. Some great players on here as well. John Lewis from the Modern Jazz Quartet plays piano. Barry Galbraith plays guitar, does some great solos. Oscar Pettiford on bass, Connie Kay on drums, and an appearance by Zoot Sims on sax. So there's also a 19-piece orchestra on here. The orchestra stuff usually doesn't do a lot for me, but this is so well recorded and it's so warm and fun to listen to. I think anybody would enjoy this. So Atlantic Records, 1956. So the last one in this grouping I want to talk about is Gene Krupa, self-titled. This came out in 1955, and it's actually a comp of probably 78s that were done between like 1941 and 1945. The reason I was really interested in this one is it features the great trumpet player Roy Eldridge, and the vocals on here, there's actually 6 vocal tracks on here by Anita O'Day, which I really enjoy. So it's real swingy and fun, and Gene Krupa was probably one of the greatest drummers from the swing era, and this stuff does swing hard. So thanks for tuning in for episode 3 of Vinyl Treasures. Hopefully we'll continue to bring you some great vinyl nuggets from the streets of America. We're always out hunting down more stuff, and there's always great collections coming in, and I'm always adding to my collection. So happy record hunting.